It's a beautiful day today and we're about to make it even better with some Am I the A-hole? I'm so ready for this and I hope you guys are excited and I hope you have a wonderful time. Am I the a-hole for telling my kids why I don't buy their half-siblings anything? The mother of my 2 children, 10 male and 9 female, cheated on me during our marriage and became pregnant with another man's child. I learnt this when I caught her with the man in question, and after quizzing her, she admitted there was a strong chance he was the father of the baby she was pregnant with. I ended our marriage right there, and I took a DNA test when her youngest was born and she was not mine. So in the divorce, custody and support was only factored in for our 2 kids. I paid some child support because I made more than her, but we had 50-50 custody time with the kids, and I did remain an involved dad. My ex lived with the father of her youngest October of last year. When he took off without a word and dipped from their lives, she's been in pursuit of child support ever since, but he can't be found and he quit the last known job that he had, so she hasn't had any luck so far, and this has led to her struggling and I buy more for the kids. We share so they don't suffer because of the failed relationship with the affair partner. Last month, my ex told me she was struggling to keep up with the expenses for her youngest, and she asked me if I would maybe buy some stuff that included her too. I said no, that I was responsible for my kids and I would not become financially responsible in any way for the child that she made while cheating on me. She begged and told me that they'll have different lives if I don't help for at least now, and I told her that wasn't my problem and maybe she'll think about that in the future before she starts an ongoing affair. She told her kids about asking me and encouraged them to ask me for them. The kids were confused because they've always known that their half-sister is not my child, but they started to doubt because of how their mum talked, saying that good men take care of all their children and loving a child who is part of your family should never be that hard. The kids did approach me and ask me about it and told me that their mum wanted to ask me for stuff for their half-sister, so I explained to them that she's not my child or part of my family, but she is still part of theirs. They asked me why, since my oldest does have some memories of his mum and I being together while she was pregnant. I said their mum got pregnant with their half-sister while we were together, but DNA proved that she was not mine and I did not raise her for that reason. I told them I am still their dad and nothing has changed, but I was never really their half-sister's dad and I don't want to buy her stuff like I do for them. They understood, and when they went back to their mum, she called me and cussed me out for telling the kids more details than she wanted them to know. I said they'd always been aware that they had a different dad to her other child, and that needed to remain clear because I was not claiming her now that her father has abandoned her. She called me a cruel ding-dong. Am I the a-hole? No, I don't feel like you're the a-hole, OP. Your ex is definitely the a-hole. Like this comment says, not the a-hole, you're not obligated to financially support your kid's half-sister, and it doesn't sound like your explanation encouraged a divide between them, or similar. If your ex didn't want them to have more information about the situation at hand, she shouldn't have tried to use them to manipulate you. Yeah, 100%. To try and spin it somehow like you're the bad guy. Nah, I don't feel like you are, OP. And like this comment, not the a-hole. Obviously, you don't have to buy things for a kid that isn't yours and isn't a part of your life. She called and cussed me out for telling the kids more details than she wanted them to know. She told her kids about asking me and encouraged them to ask me for them. This is terrible that she actually used the kids to get the money when you told her you're not going to do this. If she didn't want them to know more, she shouldn't have encouraged them to go to you and ask about it. That's a really crappy move to put the kids in between all of this. Post number 2. Am I the a-hole for wearing my girlfriend's clothes and refusing to change? I 16 male was at my girlfriend's 16 female place and she made me try on her clothes as a joke because we found out that we're the same size. I tried on a crop t-shirt and low-rise jeans. She told me that I looked hot and told me to keep it on, so I did because yeah, I looked hot. She gave me the clothes to keep. My mum called me and told me to come home because my uncle and aunt were there and I should say hi. I forgot to change, so I went home in my girlfriend's clothes and I didn't think it'd be a problem or anything, but my parents were so pissed off. Once I said hi to my aunt and uncle, my mum pulled me to the kitchen and told me to go change. She called me an embarrassment. I refused to change because like what the hell? Why does she care so much? That made her 10 times angrier and she called me disrespectful and some other stuff. After my aunt and uncle had gone, my dad agreed with my mum and told me that I should throw the clothes away or give them back to my girlfriend. I said no because they were cool and I don't get why they care so much. It's only clothes. My dad asked me if I'm gay and when I said no, he told me that I looked gay and I laughed at him. Then my mum grounded me. Am I the gay hole? I feel like they're overreacting. I'm not getting rid of the clothes though. I looked hot. I don't care. And my girlfriend likes it. That's all I care about, to be honest. Yeah, no, it's not that big of a deal. You're right, OP. Yeah, no, you're for sure not the gay hole. Yeah, this comment, are you gay while wearing your girlfriend's stuff? Can't get more ridiculous. Yeah, why did they say that? Yeah, like this comment says, tell your parents their homophobia is showing. Not the a-hole. It's a shame there aren't more guys like you in the world. We need more healthy masculinity. Yeah, it's silly that this even became an issue. Like, it's not a big deal at all. I like this comment too. Not the a-hole. I'm in my 50s and I think your parents are being ridiculous. As long as you are dressing appropriately appropriately for the occasion. Maybe be more mindful at like funerals and job interviews and weddings and stuff. Wear whatever makes you comfortable and happy. Life's too short to wear stuff that you hate. Have fun. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for grounding my daughter for ruining our vacation? This one is marked as the a-hole. My husband, daughter, 15, stepkids 13 and 16, and I just came back from a 2-week vacation. My daughter's very smart and very good at a lot of things. She's also very competitive. My husband is also very competitive. My daughter started off this vacation by telling my husband there was Sudoku on the plane and explaining how to play. He didn't know that she's been playing Sudoku for months. She made a bet with him that if she finishes the hardest level first, he'd buy her Wi-Fi for the flight, and if he finished first, she'd share a bed with his younger daughter on the trip. His younger daughter was complaining about sharing with his oldest because she kicks and sleeps in the middle of the bed. She beat him and pestered him until he bought the Wi-Fi. When we got there, she'd challenge him to races on land and in the pool. She's won medals at state track meets and has been swimming since she was 2. Every single day, she'd challenge him to something, win, and he'd have to buy her something from the resort or local shops. My husband was getting sick of losing, and my stepdaughters were upset that their dad was buying her stuff and not them. So I told my daughter she either couldn't compete with her stepdad or she had to let him win. She decided to tell her stepdad that she wasn't allowed to compete with him anymore because he couldn't handle losing. This made them start to argue, so I told her that if she didn't keep it up, she'd be grounded to the resort for the rest of the trip, a little over a week at this point. She decided to test me, so I stuck to my word, and she was left at the resort while the rest of us went out every day. The vacation was much more enjoyable without her turning everything into a competition, but she told her dad when she got back that we grounded her, and he's mad at me now for leaving her there and excluding her from the vacation because my husband couldn't act like an adult. I told him my daughter was warned to stop, but she decided to test me, and now he's forcing her to stick to the custody schedule. Technically, I have every other weekend, but he was letting her go back and forth whenever she wanted, and is now threatening to go to court for child support and back pay. Am I the a-hole for grounding her for ruining the vacation? Yeah, of course you are. What do you mean? How old did it say your daughter was? 15? Yeah, 15. The fact that you put all of the blame onto your daughter for this, your husband could have easily been like, okay, that's enough of these competitions, or also do them, but like, what, don't buy them stuff? Your husband's a grown adult, and you're getting upset at your 15-year-old daughter because they're having fun? Your daughter didn't bloody ruin anything, and from what they were talking about, it was like a little fun stuff. Like, yeah, who can beat the hardest Sudoku level first? Like, this didn't need to become an issue. And the last thing you should have done is blame all of it on your daughter, and your daughter's dad was completely right when he said that you were excluding her from the vacation because your husband couldn't act like an adult. That's completely what happened. This comment says you the a-hole. First off, on your husband being sick of losing, come on, he's the adult, act like it. Secondly, on your stepdaughters, you could have handled this so much better. If this was unfair, why didn't you suggest to your daughter that if she does win, your husband should get something for all the kids? This just sounds like your husband is salty that he can't beat a teenager. And this comment, you're the a-hole. Your husband didn't have to accept all those challenges. You're blaming her for his inability to manage his own competitiveness. I agree with your ex, her father. Yeah, definitely. And you made your daughter stay at the resort every single day when you guys went out and had fun. That's awful. Like, for what? And what, your husband doesn't feel bad and you don't feel bad? Terrible. This comment, you the a-hole and your husband, he's a fully grown adult. He didn't have to take her bets, and if you take a bet and you lose, then you do so graciously. Your daughter didn't ruin the vacation. You and your husband did. Grounding her on holiday was an overreaction and honestly quite cruel. Oh yes, super cruel. Imagine how the daughter feels. Probably very confused. Yeah, the top comment, which also has 20,000 upvotes. I told him my daughter was warned to stop, but she decided to test me, and now he's forcing her to stick to the custody schedule. Technically, I have every other weekend, but he was letting her go back and forth whenever she wanted, and is threatening to go to court for child support and back pay. You the a-hole, and unfortunately so is your husband, because he can't stop accepting competitive bets from his 15-year-old stepdaughter, and then being upset when he consistently loses to her. You should have told him to simply tell her no thanks whenever she offered to race him, or otherwise compete against him in any way. He should have then decided that was the wisest and most mature way to handle the situation. Nothing wrong with asking your daughter to stop trying to get your husband to compete against her during the vacation, or at least asking that she stops asking for rewards if she does win. But she's the child in this situation. It should have been up to the two adults, you and your husband, to figure out a way to put a stop to the competitions. See above, hubby could simply decline to compete. Problem solved. No one is told to let him win, which is utter and complete BS, and I'm sure you know that. Now, your poor parenting choices may be coming home to roost in an unexpected way. You might have to pay child support and back pay. Were you ordered to pay child support but you haven't been doing so? Or not paying the full amount ordered? If so, that doesn't reflect well on you either. I suggest that you and your immature husband might benefit from several parenting classes. I hope you really think about how you handled this situation and how you can and should do better in the future. Yeah, your daughter did not ruin your vacation. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for letting my sister think that all of her babysitting parents will spoil her the way that mine does? I'm a babysitter to a 10-year-old with cancer. It is by far the easiest and cushiest job I've I've ever had. When Ava is in the hospital, she's either napping or playing with friends. All I have to do is make her lunch, make her do her homework, push her IV pole when she walks, and help her when she needs to use the bathroom, get her on and off the toilet. She can do the rest. When she's not in the hospital, we have a lot of fun. Her mum lets me take her anywhere or do anything with her as long as she comes back alive. No budget and I get reimbursed for everything. We've gone to arcades, amusement parks, ice skating, movies, museums, and I love hanging out with her. On top of this, her mum spoils me. Every morning when I get to work, she asks me if I've eaten anything. If I say no, she hands me $20 for breakfast and coffee. If I babysit at night, she gives me $50 to DoorDash some food for myself in case I do get hungry. And if I don't use it, she tells me to think of it as a bonus. This is on top of having free reign of the pantry. My suitcase was lost after a 2-week vacation, and her mum gave me $150 to buy some clothes until my suitcase got recovered. I travel with the family 3 times a year, and I get an all expenses paid trip to work 2 to 5 hours a day, paid at 1.5 times my normal rate, so the mum can go out with her other kids while Ava is resting. I tell my sister all about this job. She recently lost her job and decided to start babysitting. She has a 5-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy and hates it. She makes less than me for more kids with more energy. She doesn't get money for food when she babysits. She doesn't get to take the kids anywhere she wants and get paid for it. She doesn't get to hang out on her phone for 3 hours a day. And the parents aren't as nice as Ava's mum. Apparently, I led her to believe that every job was going to be as cushy as mine by always talking about it, and she blames me for her hating her job. Nah. Our mum thinks that I should have told her that not every family is going to be like Ava's, and that I should have warned her that it could be hard. Am I the a-hole for not warning her that not every job is like mine, and that she would have to work with a babysitting job? Nah, I don't feel like you are, OP. That's common sense. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. How old are you and your sister? I feel like it's kind of common knowledge that most babysitting gigs aren't going to be all cushy like that. And OP said, I'm 21 and she's 23. Yeah, that's definitely common sense. It's not your fault, OP. Like, of course, a normal babysitting job isn't going to be the same as yours, and you can pretty easily pick that up from everything that you say. Like, that's not hard to understand. And of course, you wouldn't expect them to think that all babysitting jobs are going to be the same. So yeah, why would you feel like you needed to say that? And your mum needs to get out of here with that expectation. That's bloody ridiculous. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole. You're not responsible for managing your sister's expectations about real life. All you were doing is talking about how happy you were with the wonderful people you work for, which does deliver the message that not all employees are wonderful people. By the way, I bet they tell all of their friends about how happy they are with the wonderful person who works for them. You're giving their seriously ill daughter all kinds of great experiences, and I bet they can't believe their luck in finding you. There's a comment that says, not the a-hole, what's up with your mum? Frankly, I think that's even worse behavior than your sister's. And OP said, she's always babied my siblings. I babysat a lot during the pandemic and she got mad at me for stealing all of the jobs. Wow, that's hilarious. Yeah, well, that's what it is, OP. Your mum has been babying your siblings and it's showing. Yeah, you're not the a-hole. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for wearing fake freckles? I work in a beauty supply store where we sell makeup, hair care products, etc. We got those little freckle pens in recently. When I was younger, I would always get a few freckles in the summer from playing outside in the sun all day. Now that I'm older, I try to take better care of my skin. I use sunscreen and I do try to limit my exposure. I do miss my freckles, so I decided to try the pen. I picked out the lighter shade so they'd look natural. It worked wonderfully and now I use it almost every day. I met up with a friend for lunch yesterday and she looked at me funny and asked, have you always had freckles? I told her about the freckle pen and she told me that it doesn't sit right with her soul. What? Oh my god, get out of here. This is not a problem. That she was bullied as a child for having freckles and now people wear them as a fashion statement. I told her that I just thought they were cute and she said that it felt like cultural appropriation. What? Oh my god. Obviously it sucks that she was bullied, but I don't think using a freckle pen is the same as cultural appropriation. Edit, for those asking, the pen I used is the freckle pen by Lime Crime. I got the shade Amber, but they have a couple of darker shades too, and a magenta shade too. Not waterproof. As for the friend, I'm probably just not going to use the pen anymore when we hang out. I do only see her once every few weeks anyway. It's not really worth it in my opinion. Yeah, nah, come on. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, like I do understand, like if they got bullied for having freckles, you know, they're not going to like them probably, and they're not going to like that it's become like sort of trendy to put them on. Like, yeah, I do understand that not sitting right with them, but them saying that it's cultural appropriation, no, it's not. Yeah, like this comment says, it's not cultural appropriation, but as an adult who was also bullied sometimes quite badly for having freckles, I do understand the feeling. I took an awful lot of crap growing up for having something that people now put on with a pen for fashion. It sits kind of rough with me too. I'm not telling anybody not to do it because this is my own thing to deal with, but it does make me a little jealous and resentful. Yeah, 100%, and that's definitely understandable. And you can tell that OP's friend feels the same. But yeah, the rest of what they said, nah, like this other comment says, not the a-hole. Oh please, how is having freckles cultural appropriation? You do you, and you do what makes you feel beautiful. This is not personal towards your friend, and she's making it so. Yeah, that's a really good point. But yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for making things uncomfortable during my dad's engagement dinner? My dad is a serial cheater. Oh god, here we go. He cheated on my mum a lot during their marriage, and it came to light after she was diagnosed with brain cancer 5 years ago. Mum found out when she was already terminal, and my dad's answer to this was to run away to his, at the time, affair partner's house, leaving me, 16 female, who was only 11, and my sister, 15 female, who was only 10, to fend for ourselves and take care of mum. He then tried to get his way back in for my mum's last few weeks, and she somewhat gave in for our sakes because she was worried that we'd hate him if she didn't. But then when the end came, he was with his affair partner. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. When mum was gone, we refused to live with dad and his affair partner. We told dad that we weren't going to let him act like nothing bad happened, and there was no way that we wanted his affair partner to be our new mum. We ran away from home to get our way, and CPS got involved and decided that we should live with our maternal grandparents. But our dad was given visitation rights by the court, so we do have to see him one Saturday and one Sunday a month, but not overnight. Dad and his last affair partner were on and off for a few years. We found out that one of her kids was actually his, and that kid is 6 now. She has an 8-year-old as well from the guy she was married to at the time that she had her 6-year-old. So there's messy stuff on her side too. We don't see or interact with them ever. Dad and his affair partner are engaged now, and they want an engagement party with family and friends, and Dad insisted that we had to be a part of it. It happened on Saturday. Dad made us use the engagement dinner as our visitation with him, but we tried to fight against it. So we went, but we weren't happy, and during the dinner, Dad and his affair partner were talking about how excited they were to bring the family together. His affair partner was saying that she was so excited to officially be our parent and to have us come closer because of it. Their immediate families know the score, but not the extended family. Their friends mostly know, I think. They were saying how it was the most wonderful time and stuff, and then my sister and I started saying it wasn't for us, and then sarcastically said how we couldn't wait to be a family with Dad's affair partner who was seeing all throughout her mum's cancer, and who he chose to be with when his wife was dying, leaving his daughters alone with their dying mum, because he didn't even call our grandparents to tell them that it was her final few hours. We also brought up how we had fathered the 6-year-old during his marriage to mum. This led to a lot of questions, surprise, and anger, the latter of which was directed at us. My dad and his affair partner were furious that we made the engagement dinner uncomfortable. Oh, the audacity. And asked why we did that. My sister said that we weren't going to pretend we were happy for them, or us. I said they forced us to be there, and we were clear that we didn't want to be. They said that we behaved like spiteful children. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole. They sound bloody awful. And of course you're spiteful children, as you should be. Oh, that's disgusting. And the fact that they're getting angry at you for this? Wow. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. They said we behaved like spiteful children. You are spiteful children. You have very good reasons to be spiteful. What else did they expect? Yeah, that's actually disgusting of your dad, OP. Ew. That was so awful. OP said my dad expected we would be over it enough by now to become part of his family. I think he thought that we'd be so desperate to have our last remaining parent that everything would go back to relatively normal, meaning that we would live with him and engage with his affair partner and the kids, and that we would never bring up the affairs and our mum dying. Well, he left us to face it alone since he didn't even call our mum's parents to tell them that he was taking off. He really expected us to love him after that and to fall in love with them. Yeah, that's so gross. Oh, I'm so sad for you, OP. Of course you're not the a-hole. And yeah, that's enough for today. Time for something a lot more wholesome. Oh yeah, this one. Can you help me with this? Here, done. Can you come here again? But there's nothing wrong. Oh, they only wanted a hug. So cute. And the Sunday Kids ones are always so cute. Love at first sight. Getting to know a person as a good friend and then growing to realize that you've fallen in love with each other. Nah. Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I don't know what else to say. Love that so much. Yeah, this one. Boys, that one compliment they got years ago. And I'll never forget it. And every time things are a little bit hard, I'll remember that day. That's so funny. But also, like, I guess not funny because, you know, they need more compliments. My 8-year-old is battling her uncle in a prank war. Last night she delivered this devastating blow, reserved for Mr. Fart. Oh my god, how dare they? How are they going to recover from this? That's so funny. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Maya. Day 699 of reminding everybody to drink some water. Stay hydrated, friends. Okay, so I haven't checked the comments 699 days in a row to be completely sure that you have commented this 699 days in a row. But if you have, oh my god, that's so awesome and I really appreciate it. Also, how funny is it that we need to be reminded to drink water? Like, you see memes or comments and stuff like this where people are like, make sure you stay hydrated. And sometimes I read them and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't drank any water in ages, even though you need it to survive. And then I sit there thinking, am I really that hopeless? But obviously not, because it does seem pretty common. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for the support, guys. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!